Who Moved My Cheese is a deeply insightful fable about change, human behavior, and personal growth, illustrating how people respond differently to change in their lives and careers. The story unfolds in a maze, a metaphor for life, work, and the environments in which people seek success and happiness, represented symbolically by cheese. The narrative centers on four characters: two mice named Sniff and Scurry, and two little people named Hem and Haw, each with distinct characteristics and approaches to life. The mice rely on simple instincts, keen observation, and swift action. They do not overcomplicate their lives and are naturally prepared to move when circumstances change. Hem and Haw, representing the human tendency toward complexity and emotional attachment, build habits, routines, and expectations around the cheese they find, often assuming it will remain forever. At the beginning of the story, all four characters find a large supply of cheese at Cheese Station. See the mice. Attentive and cautious, notice subtle changes in the cheese supply and remain alert to potential scarcity. Hem and Haw, however, grow complacent, taking the cheese for granted and feel secure in their position. They establish routines, build comfort zones, and allow themselves to believe that their success and security are permanent. This setup mirrors how many people approach life. With initial success, they develop habits and expectations that can blind them to inevitable changes. One day, without warning, the cheese at Station C disappears. This sudden loss acts as a catalyst, revealing the stark contrast in the characters' responses to change. Sniff and Scurry, true to their nature, immediately accept the reality. They do not waste time on denial or analysis. They simply put on their running shoes and venture into the maze in search of new cheese. Their quick adaptation illustrates one of the central principles of the book. Noticing change early and responding without hesitation is key to overcoming life's uncertainties. Hem reacts very differently. He is paralyzed by fear, anger, and denial. He refuses to leave Cheese Station C, believing that the cheese should still be there and that circumstances should remain the same. Hem's behavior demonstrates how resistance to change and attachment to comfort zones can prevent growth and lead to stagnation. He becomes increasingly frustrated and resentful, unable to take steps toward new opportunities, symbolizing individuals who cling to the past instead of embracing the reality of the present. Haw experiences an internal struggle. Initially, he shares Hem's fear and reluctance, feeling anxious about the unknown and uncertain about leaving the familiar space. However, Haw gradually begins to recognize that change is unavoidable and that adapting is essential for survival and fulfillment. He overcomes his fear by reflecting on past experiences, realizing that clinging to old cheese only limits him. Haw begins to write messages on the walls of the maze, which serve both as personal reminders and symbolic lessons for readers. Change happens. Anticipate change. Monitor change. Adapt quickly. Change. Enjoy change. And be ready to change quickly again. These messages encapsulate the principles of adaptability, resilience, self-awareness, and proactive behavior. They encourage readers to acknowledge the inevitability of change, take responsibility for their actions, and remain optimistic while seeking new opportunities. As Haw ventures deeper into the maze, he learns several important lessons. First, he discovers that fear and hesitation are natural but must not dictate action. By confronting fear and taking incremental steps, individuals can navigate uncertainty and find new sources of success and happiness. Second, he learns to enjoy the journey itself, understanding that adapting to change can be a source of personal growth and empowerment rather than only a challenge or loss. Third, Haw realizes that those who prepare for change and maintain a flexible mindset reach their goals more quickly, as demonstrated by the mice, who have already found new cheese at Cheese Station. This reinforces the idea that proactive adaptation, vigilance, and willingness to explore beyond comfort zones are key to achieving lasting fulfillment. Throughout the story, the maze represents the environments and circumstances in which people operate, including workplaces, personal relationships, and life goals. The cheese symbolizes not only tangible successes, such as wealth, promotion, or security, but also intangible desires like happiness, recognition, and self-fulfillment. By framing the narrative in this simple, metaphorical way, Spencer Johnson makes complex psychological and behavioral lessons easily understandable and actionable. The story concludes with reflections on the four characters' journeys and the lessons they provide. The mice demonstrate the effectiveness of simplicity, observation, and prompt action. Hem illustrates the risks of fear, denial, and attachment to outdated beliefs. Haw embodies the transformative potential of courage, adaptability, and learning from experience. The overarching message is that change is inevitable, and resisting it leads to stagnation, while embracing it proactively opens doors to new opportunities and personal growth. The book urges readers to anticipate change, act decisively, maintain optimism, let go of fear, and view setbacks not as failures but as chances to discover new paths and achievements. Ultimately, Who Moved My Cheese is not just a story about cheese, it is a powerful allegory for life itself. It teaches that the ability to observe change, adapt quickly, and embrace uncertainty determines success and happiness. Those who can let go of old patterns, overcome fear, and actively seek new opportunities are the ones most likely to thrive in a constantly changing world. By combining a simple narrative with profound psychological insights, the book offers practical guidance for readers of all ages and professions, showing that personal growth, resilience, and fulfillment are attainable for anyone willing to move beyond their comfort zones and navigate life's maze with courage and adaptability.